Hello and welcome back to the fig and olive plot. So today I am gonna get the rest of the leeks out, sort out some jobs I've got, and also I've got a new gadget to show you that I bought for the plot, and I think it'll be a great addition to the channel. So I bought myself a trail cam with a solar panel on top, and this one is actually really good because it can keep itself charged a bit longer than just using the batteries all the time. And I figured with this, I'll set it up by the pond area, and I might move it around the two plots through the seasons, especially in winter as well. And hopefully we'll see some more wildlife that's coming to this plot and the Grapevine garden over the seasons. So I was here the other day having a coffee, and I noticed how much wildlife is entering this garden now because of all the structures and all the plants and all the bugs that's coming into this plot. I noticed that there was a pile of birds swooping in, taking all the black fly off the beans and peas, probably stealing the peas as well, to be fair. And they were also coming into the pond area, having a little drink, even the pigeons. I know I put feed up for the wildlife, but it was nice to see them flying in, using that pond now. And hopefully with this, we can see hedgehogs coming in, and just seeing what this plot does when I'm not here. So in a few weeks' time, I'm going to be introducing hedgehogs to this site anyway. Mark, who you've seen on the channel many times, who had the bees, he also does like a hedgehog rescue scheme. So, hedgehog rescue scheme, yeah. And so he's got some baby hedgehogs that I'll show now. And I went over and visited them, and they're not big enough yet, but in a few weeks' time, we're going to introduce them onto the site so that hopefully they'll find their new home here. They'll be protected in the gated area, and I'm hoping one of them at least will move into the fig and olive plot. So it's all set up, and I'm going to add straps to mine which come with it, but you can also fit it to a wall or a post and things like that. But I don't want it to be permanent because I'm obviously going to be moving it around both the plots. But with this, am I opening Pandora's box? My worry is, am I opening Pandora's box with this by seeing things that I don't want to see? Do you know what I mean? An infestation of rats, or too many pigeons, or even people pinching things off the plot. I hope not. I'm sure that's not the case. But am I opening Pandora's box with this? So I bought some slate markers with some stakes, and I figured some of the higher plants, like the pumpkins and things, I figured if I hang them on like this, they'll be a bit higher off the bed, and I'll be able to distinguish which plant is which, and also where to water in that area. So let's pop a few of these in the garden. I figured it would also be a good thing as well to pop these where some of the plants that will die down after summer, and I'll be able to dig them up. So the tiger calla lily and the honker black dahlia, I now know where they are and where to dig them up. So in this patch now we've got two Blaze F1, a baby blue hubbard, a polar bear pumpkin, another baby blue hubbard, two red curry squash, two butternut squash, baby boo and Jack Lil, and also a mini butternut squash. So these should all clamber in. I'm sure this area will be rampant full of pumpkins and foliage in the next couple of weeks, but that's the fun of it. I'll also label all this here as well, because there's a lot of dahlias and lilies and things all in here that they are labelled underneath, but I'd rather them up above so that when I do dig them down, I don't want to mix them up, and also the wind might blow those labels away. So at least with these then, I'll know which ones are which to store for next year. So some good news about this wispy olive tree. Now I am always worried, even though I like the shape of it, I'm afraid that one day the wind is going to blow this as like a sail and snap it at the base. So some good news. I've noticed some new shoots coming up on the sides where I've trimmed it back. So I'm hoping that these will establish. I can chop this away and then start this olive bush back off so that it's a round spherical shape, and it's just easier to manage as well. This is lovely and I like the shape of it, but wind will damage this otherwise. As you can see, the fig and olive plot now is really coming together. Really nice. I'm happy that everywhere you go and everywhere you turn, there's a nice little area for you to sit or to look at, and that's exactly what I wanted to do with this plot. Right, let's head on down to the Grapevine garden. I want to pull up the rest of the leeks that I've sown and grown on in the polytunnel, take them down there, harvest some spuds and get those blooming leeks in. Now it's always best to harvest the potatoes in the ground first. If you've got buckets as well, keep them in the buckets. They'll store really well in the compost as long as you dry them out, pop them in your greenhouse or in the back of your shed, stack them about 3 or 4 buckets high, and they are good to go all the way up to Christmas. I know, I've tried it myself and it was perfect. I was having sharp potatoes all the way up through the winter and I didn't have to worry about planting Christmas potatoes. So dig the ones up out of the ground first, use all them and use the buckets as storage. So I'm at the Grapevine garden, the other plot, and I'm gonna now get up all those potatoes, put the leeks in, and also show you my shallot harvest. I am so happy with these shallots. I'll pickle a lot of them for Christmas, but I'll also keep a few of the big ones as well to plant again. They'll then split, and so on, so on. So don't think you always have to keep buying out just to have another harvest, you know what I mean? Save some things like garlic, shallots and seeds and stuff so that you can re-sow, replant to have a next harvest and a next harvest.
Every change has a reason, baby, let it come to you. Every soul, every
hey, that's not a bad haul indeed. We have got some stray ones, which you will always get from digging. I had some pink fir apples, which was a nice surprise, and also some red ones as well. So I think they're the Rudolph that Tony O'Neill gave me last year. So I must have spread some compost in here that was from the buckets last year. And yeah, we've got extra potatoes, but overall, an amazing haul. Oh. So now they're all out, I'll give it a good rake over, let's get those leeks in, and that is another job done, and then another harvest in winter. So I don't need to show you now how I plant my leeks. I've already shown you that a couple of episodes ago. So I'm just gonna get them in. It's boiling hot. So the leeks are in, and the potatoes, what a lovely haul of new potatoes, which will feed myself, my friends and family for the next couple of weeks. So I popped over, it's a new day, and I don't think nothing is gonna spoil this. I've had a beautiful day at the garden centre. I bought a few things, but that's for another day. But let's have a little look around the garden. Okay, so I spoke too soon, and already I've come out of the plot and there's destruction on this plot. So it appears the mole is on overdrive now. It's pushing out the sunflowers, all the flowers here, molehill after molehill after molehill. They're pushing all the flowers out of the new flower bed of all places. But I think I've got a theory. My theory is that when I put the manure down and the compost and stuff, worms are coming up to the top because obviously there's a nutrient dense compost feed for them. And, you know, they pull it down into the soil. But I think the worms then are there and the moles are coming up together, and that's attracting them to go to those, you know, densely fed beds, and they're destroying the garden. So if you've got any ideas how I can kind of move these moles on, I don't want to hurt them in any way at all. So I don't want to hear any, like, you know, nasties about them. But if you've got any, you know, proven methods of moving these on to, you know, there's plenty of countryside to my left. Why don't they go down there? But yeah, they're just picking all the beds, and that is not what I need. Right, let's not let it ruin the day. They're just everywhere now. Everywhere I look, there's a molehill that's pushed up another plant, and they're not being able to root in and flourish. So he's become a bit of a menace. So I popped over because I want to have a little look at the trail cam. I'm kind of excited to see what's been taken on the camera while I've been from the plot. If it's the mole and he's laughing at me on the camera, I will not be impressed. But I'm hoping that I've got some nice clips, videos, photos on the trail cam of nature at the pond. Let's have a look. Oh Christ. So all you do is open up the app and it asks you to connect to the Bluetooth, and then you can check all the footage that's on the camera. It's so easy, and I highly recommend this one with the solar panel on. I purchased this myself, but I'm loving this one so far, that it has batteries in it as a backup, but the solar panel charges a battery as well, and it keeps it going. And then you just find the camera, because you might have a few. I've got one planned for the Grapevine, so I was going to move it back and forth, but I love it so much. I think I'm going to put one down there as well. We can keep an eye on what's going on both plots. I'm quite curious of what's going on. Right, we're all connected. Let's have a look what we've got on here. So it appears this has become the watering hole for all the local cats, and that's fine. You know, I don't mind them. We all know there's cats on this allotment site, keeps the rat population down, and they do tend to wander around, you know, and it's quite nice to have a lot of cats in the area. They don't tend to come on the plot when I'm here, but I have seen them waltzing up the path, you know, as if they own the place. But I've also noticed that there's quite a lot of birds as well, and also I think it was a little field mouse. But I tell you what, I'll pop them all up now, and I'll put numbers next to some of the animals, because I'm not quite sure, or you might know the type of species they are. So I'll pop numbers next to the clips, and then hopefully you can then later comment and let me know what some of them are, because to me it's just a pigeon, but it could be a particular pigeon. But if this is the type of stuff that you enjoy, pop a comment down as well, and I'll add it into some of the videos of what's going on the plot, because I'm only filming when I'm here, and it seems like there's quite a few birds popping in and out on the bird table. But when I'm not here, I think a lot more happens that I don't know about. Well, that's brightened my day a little bit to find some footage on there, and it's so nice to see that putting that pond in has actually introduced and encouraged, you know, wildlife to my plot. The ones that I want, I'm happy for moles to come on here, as long as they're not ruining everything that I'm putting in the ground. I'm Danny, and this is the Grapevine Garden.